People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, might as well speak about some stuff concerning Arsenal. Firstly, let's talk about William Saliba. I think yesterday in the Coupe de la France, I haven't watched all of the game. I've seen extended highlights, and I've got the game on record. Life catches up with everyone. I had some things to do, so I couldn't watch the semi-final in relation to St Etienne and Rennes. But it's nice to see Saliba's men are in the final. It's a chance for him to claim his first significant piece of silverware in his career. And it'd also be a good way to leave St Etienne. He's not left like a coward. He stayed, went back on loan. He's put in performances. His performance levels and commitment hasn't dropped. And there's an opportunity to bring silverware home before going to Arsenal and starting his new thing. You look at, I think people need to stop sensationalizing William Saliba and not get caught up on the centre half he's going to be tomorrow, because he shows he's human. Against Dijon, he showed he's human. He's only had maybe 2 iffy games since I've been watching him this season. Dijon, where he got killed by that striker, and he's had some iffy games. And I think you learn, one thing I like about him is his mentality. He is going to make mistakes in the Premier League. He's going to have good games. He's going to get teared apart. He's going to learn some harsh lessons. And he showed his mentality. Generally, I think he had a decent game defensively, contested his duels well, didn't go to ground unnecessarily, defended with conviction, tried to do stuff on the ball. Obviously, he conceded a penalty, a needless foul. His body positioning is all wrong. He does bring down the Rennes man. He holds his L. But what I like is he made his mistake and he has to learn from it. But he kept going, and you can see he played a part in the goal basically to clinch it. Really, he brings the ball out of defence. It then reaches a St Etienne's teammate, who then finds the guy who eventually scores, and he puts it home. And you need that. Mistakes are going to happen. There's no point thinking woe is me and behaving like a little itch. You got to get up and continue. And that's one thing I respect so much about Saliba. He's got that already for a young man, because he's going to come to the Premier League, and again he's going to learn harsh lessons. There's going to be games he might brighten away. He might, it will be a thing where he'll play great at home against Man United, but he might go to a Brighton or a Southampton or a Wolves and get picked apart against a Jimenez, or be unable to realise where Glenn Murray, Shane Long and all these players are. Danny Ings. These names might not sound glamorous, but they're all different strikers with different characteristics that he's going to have to learn from. So it's lovely to see he reacted well. Like I said, he defended well generally and played well from what I've seen generally. He just made that mistake, really. So, yeah, man, Saliba gang, we're moving all right. He's obviously very strong. He defends with precision. He times his interceptions quite well, and he's not afraid to bring the ball forward and try and be a difference maker for St Etienne. We need that mentality. Moving away from that, and our boy Emile Smith Rowe, who's also on loan at having a decent spell at Huddersfield, he has said, "The club in general have given me a great experience so far. I'm really happy to be here. Obviously, I'll go back to Arsenal in pre-season, and hopefully I can prove to the manager that I can play for the club in pre-season." So yeah, there'll be a decision. Do we loan him out to a Premier League team? Is he good enough now to be part of the rebuild that Arteta wants to do with Joe? Because I must admit, Joe is the 10 ahead, but I think Emile's better for that role. But there's got to be something that Joe is showing that he wasn't. Is he more ready for first team? Is he quicker with his decisions? Is he more confident? Because it did look like a confidence thing, me looking at Emile. You look at the game he started against Everton. Second half, you saw him come out of his shell. He let the game pass him in the first. It's about, getting some experience, getting some confidence and coming back, because he's got a good opportunity. He can be used as a 10, used as an 8, used as on the flanks. Obviously, with the rebuild, there's an opportunity to be part of something, and you always want your homegrown players to be part of it. And Emile Smith Rowe is someone I would like that to be for people. So, big up Emile and Saliba. Litten Sport is saying, Arsenal exploring a deal for Donyell Malen. He's valued at €56 million. Our former player. I'd be all on that. He can play up front as well as the flanks. He reached double figures for goals this season and got a decent return for assists before his season's more or less done now, because he suffered a mad injury. I think he's contracted until 2022 or 2021. I could be wrong. It's probably 2022. He hasn't got that long left on his deal. Forgive me if I'm wrong. So there might be, with his rising stature and obviously Dutch cap and ambitions, he might be lured back to Arsenal. Apparently, from what I'm told, he still loves Arsenal a lot. And there was actually a specific reason for leaving Arsenal beyond public perception, which I'm not going to expand on. Allegedly, people. I'd be up for it. We lost Gnabry, Marlon's at L like that as well. I'd be up for bringing Marlon back because he's got age on his side, he's got experience, he knows the club, and maybe that itch of wanting to be a Premier League success because he never got the chance to do might appeal to him, people. So I'm all on that, but I don't know the validity of these claims. I've been over this subject, but apparently Arsenal have opened talks with Okan Kuku and will be encouraged to offload players Arteta no longer wants. Apparently, Maitland-Niles, Sokratis, Guendouzi are all under threat, while Mesut Ozil could also be allowed to leave. This is all being reported by Sammy Mokbel. I'm not too sure on Guendouzi because I think Arteta likes him. Ozil obviously probably needs to be moved on for wages. I don't think Maitland-Niles is the best, but I'd want to keep him. But if his attitude's not there, then he needs to go. So, do you know what? If your name's not really Saka or Martinelli, I don't really care, to be fair. There are some players I like, I'd want to keep and whatnot. If your name's not Saka or Martinelli, I don't really care. I want Aubameyang to stay, but we need to accept it. Something needs to happen. We need to move in one direction and stick to it in relation to his contract. Lacazette's got another year. I don't mind if Lacazette wants to go. I'm a big Mesut Ozil fan, but the game has passed him. He's a lovely baller, but he's not going to be here in terms of the rebuild. You get it? Mustafi's form has complicated things, but look at his contract. Sokratis, the same. David Luiz, for me, probably stay and let him run down his deal and let him F off when he's a free transfer. I think Arteta likes him. But again, someone you've got to look at. Kolasinac, contracted until 2022. Someone we've got to be looking at to make a decision. There's bare uncertainties around this side when you get into it, people. Eddie Nketiah is contracted until 2022. Surely we need to tie that man down because he's surely worth 20 million minimum now. This is what I'm talking about, protecting our assets. Whoever wants to, of course, like for me, I wouldn't sell Maitland-Niles, I wouldn't sell Guendouzi, I wouldn't do some of these things because I like them as footballers. But if your name is not Saka or Martinelli, then everybody's got a price. Whether you're the young one, even them man, they have prices, but they're the only two. I'll be gutted, and Aubameyang, absolutely gutted if they leave. I'm not going to lie, you lot know me, I'm a Torreira fan, big Torreira fan as well, but if Arteta didn't even want to use him and he wants to go and get funds elsewhere, not that I can imagine he'd want to sell Torreira. You can do what you want, man. I'm at that stage, like there are players I would keep. Obviously, we'd all do things differently, but if we was in the hot seat, but we're not. If your name's not Saka or Martinelli, and actually I'll be gutted if Aubameyang leaves, even though we need to keep it moving. I wouldn't say not that I don't care, but it is what it is. Like it is what it is. Like every player can be replaced. Sort of thing. They're the only two I'm like, like, do you get it? There's a couple young players I want to keep, couple players currently in their prime or right ages that I want to keep, but it is what it is, people. If Arteta don't want them man there, then he doesn't want them man there. How true these claims are, I don't know, because obviously it's easy to make that rumour about Ozil because of his contract length and the money it's on. Sokratis has fallen out of favour. Guendouzi has fallen out of favour, respectively, and, you know, the whole Dubai stuff. Maitland-Niles publicly criticised by Arteta for application, allegedly. So it's easy to put these names. Mustafi, if Mustafi wasn't playing, you'd probably see his name there, but you don't, because he's playing, sort of thing. So decisions will have to be made. And it's an important summer because I'm sure we want targets that are potentially representing their countries at the Euros. It's a difficult summer, and I hope the planning has been done, people. Like it needs to have been done from now, people. If I haven't said it already as well, people, Saliba Saint Etienne will meet PSG in the final, so hopefully there's an upset. And it's also, you saw the pitch invasion and you can see Saliba with the fans. He really enjoys it, man. He really enjoys it. In relation to James Olayinka, a youth player that went on loan to Northampton, his boss, current boss at Northampton, says he hopes to have him back in the squad against Macclesfield. I'm sure you all saw Osei Tutu get bag a goal and an assist in his last game, people. He had a decent game for FVSC Bochum, and he's been playing right wing. So yeah, we'll see what happens in that, man. It's nice to see the progress of our young players in particular. I've already mentioned Tyreese John-Jules has suffered an injury in a previous vid, but let's just see. Apparently Arteta's had some words to say. Arteta sees a bright future for Tyreese John-Jules at Arsenal despite the youngster's injury setback bringing an abrupt end to his loan spell at Lincoln. He obviously fractured his tarsal bone and sadly hasn't played since February. He obviously gained value experience playing 7 games and playing in a 4-4-2 with other strikers as well. But he said, I think he can do both. When he was with us, I was impressed with him. His understanding of the game, how he links with the people around him, how powerful he is. He has got a goal in him. And, you don't know he's probably going to return to Arsenal to continue his rehabilitation. And we'll always be rooting for Tyreese John-Jules, man, because he is a big player. He's also thanked, I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but he's also thanked Lincoln for the opportunity, the fans for the opportunity. And I don't want to say there's a blessing and stuff, but these injuries happen, and I think he can be proud of his display in the 7 games he played. He didn't score many goals, but he obviously got to bag his first senior goal in his career. He worked well in a 4-4-2. He worked well putting himself around in league football. He didn't shy away from the defensive work, from working physically. Didn't really get to show his technical abilities, I feel, in the team and the league he was playing in. That's one frustration for me looking at Lincoln week in, week out. But I think he can look back with pride, and whether he's going to go on loan to League One next year, the Championship, or stay and be part of Arteta's plans, I think he can be confident in his abilities in whatever direction. So once again, as said in my previous vid, Tyreese, hopefully it's a speedy recovery. Get your head down. Take your time with your injuries, and we're all waiting and we'll be happy to see you return, man. It is what it is. Injuries are an occupational hazard in your career, but, tough times don't last, tough people do, and Tyreese is as hard as nails. And yeah, as the chairman of Tyreese John-Jules FC, we eagerly await his return. On that note, though, people, Deluded, I'm out. I don't think I've got anything more to expand or say, so I'm going to keep it moving.